We've done a few of these, right? Uh, I'd say this is the most exciting. One of the most exciting. Very exciting. It's a special surprise guest today. I think you'll know who it is when he comes on.
So nervous. Get it? Hold on, I'm asking. Okay, hold on. I had it.
Here we are.
You got it? All right, you guys rolling? Here we go, guys.
Everybody's speeding, here we go.
I'm gonna admit into the room right now.
No moving in the background, everybody's set, here we go.
Admitting now.
Okay. Oh, hi, Phil.
Well, hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm good. You can hear me. That's making progress.
I hear you. I see you.
Okay. Let me get
The man.
let me get the man. Okay, hold on. Oh, here comes the man. Okay, here we go.
The man is coming. I see the man. Here he comes.
Okay.
Yellow.
You can see Phil.
In
You
a
can
nice
hear.
red sweater and a blue hat
Yeah.
today. Tim
Right.
Tough and Mazel Tough and Mazel Tough and Tim and Tough. I'm happy to see you.
I'm not that Jewish. So. Cooler juice.
I'm sorry if I inferred anything. How are you, my friend?
I'm okay. Where are you?
Australia.
And what are you doing there? Do your
We
same
make
thing?
the show. My
Somebody
same
feed
thing.
you? Yeah.
Somebody
What are
feed
they-
me.
Are you doing
Well, today
fried kangaroo?
I had a little. Have you ever had kangaroo? Did you?
No, not really.
I had it. I had it. You know, I have to tell you, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know. It's
Yeah.
nice. It's a nice tender meat. But today I have what we call it a grilled cheese with stuff in it. This is a toasty. They call it a
What's
toasty.
in it?
This looks like a ham and cheese with tomato. Richard, what do we have in here?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Tomato.
Mm,
What do you eat today, Mel?
yeah, okay. All right. What do you need from me?
This. You're giving it to me. What did you eat today? What did you have for lunch?
Well, I didn't.
What's a
I
Mel
don't
Brooks
eat-
lunch?
I just have breakfast and dinner. For
Oh.
breakfast today, I had 2 soft-boiled eggs
Nice.
and an English muffin. With
Just
it.
like my dad would have. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And do you already know what dinner's going to be?
And dinner tonight, I think, is going to be Dover sole.
Oh,
Dover sole. Yeah.
another thing
And-
our dad loved.
Dover sole, potatoes, and carrots.
I love it. You are very specific food-wise. When you tell a story, you
Yeah.
remember what Cary Grant ate every lunch, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. He used it's easy. He had poached eggs every day for lunch. Poached eggs, that's all he had. He watched his weight.
And you shook it up. You would have a different thing every day.
No, I would have a grilled cheese sandwich.
Oh, a toasty.
Yeah, probably the same thing. Yeah.
Mel, do you know these cookies? You played Australia, right? When you did your tour, your live
I
tour?
did. The Producers was a big hit in Australia.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
gave
it's a
it
big hit everywhere. Did you have this?
I don't remember that. Sorry, no Tim Tam. Nope.
Tim Tam's the big cookie here, and they do a thing. This is the cookie. It's like a wafer cookie, and it's wrapped in chocolate. And they do a thing here called a Tim Tam slam, which means you bite off a corner,
Uh,
and then you bite off the other corner,
mm,
and then you sip your coffee through the corner like a straw.
you're kidding.
Mm-mm. And then
Does
you
it get
slam it in your
through?
face.
Does it get through? Does the coffee get through? Mhm.
I don't know if the sucking through the straw part makes a difference, but when you dunk it in, It gets all nice and melty, and then you shove the whole thing in your mouth. They like that here.
Okay.
Mel, if you told, I've loved the times we've been together. We had just a great dinner at Ann Reiner's house a few months ago, and I loved that with you. But if you told the 14-year-old me, who had just seen first Blazing Saddles, my first R-rated movie,
Oh,
and
boy.
Young Frankenstein in the same year,
Yes.
do you know they had movie magazines? I don't know even know if you know this. They had movie magazines where you could order literal pieces of the film, the celluloid.
You're kidding.
And
Right.
I ordered, and I had stills of Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles, and I would hold them up to the light so I could say, "This is the real movie."
I never knew that. So great. That's
Yes.
great, Phil.
It's
Never
great.
knew
I
that.
think when they, maybe the film would get degraded over thousands of plays, and then they chop it up and make a little more money. I hope
Yeah.
you saw some of it.
Incredible. Anyway, that was those two movies. Two of my.
Yeah.
It's probably the greatest year of my career. Happened in 1974, which was
I
a
remember.
great year for Mel Brooks. 1974, Mel Brooks year. It wasn't so good for Richard Nixon. That was a very tough year for him. Great year
I
for
hope
me.
it's another great year for you, Mel, and a not so good year for another politician. But we don't have to
Okay.
talk about that.
Mentioning.
No. What have you been doing? What are you up to lately? Are you working on something
Well,
new?
the producers, God bless it, is gonna be back in England at the chocolate factory in sometime
Okay.
in December. Yes.
Will you go?
It's very difficult for me to get from the living room to the kitchen, but I will try. I might go. It'll depend on how I feel.
If you go, I might have to go and see you there. I would love that so much. Listen, the producers, I don't know if there's a funnier movie ever made, and then you made the funniest musical ever made, and you became an EGOT, not just EGOT, EGOT.
Right.
Many tus. How many
Thank you.
tus?
I don't know. I would say 15, but
More than anybody.
yeah,
More than anybody. I love you. You're the greatest. You're one of my absolute, if not my absolute hero. Not just as the funniest person who ever lived, but just you're such a menschy sweetie pie.
Oh, bless you, Phil. I love you, and I love your pizzas, and I love your lovely sense of humor. You have good taste.
Oh. Well, now I can die happy because you said that. But I see an Oscar in the back. There's an Oscar over your right shoulder. Was that the one for the producers, for the screenplay of the producers?
Well, I've got 3 Oscars. I don't know
Yes.
which one. I think it is either the critic, the little short subject.
Oh, yes, I
or-
love that.
Yeah, or the governor's Academy Award for I don't know, for a lifetime achievement or something. It was very nice.
Yeah. By the way,
was very-
before I ever saw your movies, I was in love with the 2,000-Year-Old Man with you and Carl, and I listened to that nonstop. Yeah, at one point you had a 3-record set.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Who did that? What comedy album had a 3-record set? You guys.
yeah, we did very well. I miss Carl very, very much. I loved him.
Me
and
too. Me
it
too.
was the greatest day I could ever have is doing the 2,000-Year-Old Man and breaking up Carl, smashing him with such humor that he hit the floor and couldn't stop laughing. And
When did he laugh? What did he
yeah.
laugh the hardest at? What was the big one? The one that really killed him?
One of the big one was who is your favorite wife? And
Yeah.
I'd say Sarah. And why was she the favorite? Why was she? Because every time I would see her, she'd bring her best friend Trixie along, and Trixie was a wow. So he didn't expect, he never expected Trixie and hit the ground. Yeah. So that was Carl. I never told him what I was going to say, so that was, it was
The greatest. And I think people don't know. I want people to know that it wasn't just a 2,000-year-old man on the records. You did lots of sketches, lots of different characters that I love too.
Yeah. I know.
The Italian filmmaker, that was
I
great.
never knew who I'd be until Carl said who I was.
Right.
He told me something, and I had to be that. So sometimes I was
So
a
funny.
German submarine commander. Sometimes I
Yeah.
was an English cabbie, a black cabbie driver with a Cockney.
Right.
I never knew who I was going to be. Carl would surprise me by saying, "Yeah, and he'd say, and here is President Eisenhower's unannounced or quiet kid brother," and I had no character. I had no character for President Eisenhower's kid brother, so I just mumbled and I said, "My brother did good, didn't he? My brother did well." I didn't know what to say. I think he was the president, or maybe the vice president. He did very nice. I didn't know what to say. He'd stump me. And he was hysterical. He was hysterical.
You both together. What a beautiful, I mean, more than the comedy, you were brothers,
Yeah,
right?
I love
You were
it.
together almost every night.
Right.
You would sit together, right, and watch at his house. He told me you watched a couple of shows. One was Jeopardy, and one was always a movie. And what was the phrase you look for in the movie? You look for movies that have the words.
We used the words that we used in the movies that we loved when we heard it in a movie. Something about the period, the perimeter.
He told me, secure the perimeter.
Secure the perimeter. We loved any movie that said secure the perimeter. We loved that. That was I don't even know what it means. Secure the perimeter. I think it means zip up your fly. I think that's what it means. I'm not.
It does now. That's what I'm gonna say. Mel, when I come home, can we eat a little something? Can I take you for a nice steak or something you would like?
No
kangaroo. Yeah.
Take me to the restaurant and split the check with me. I know you wouldn't.
I'm not
pick
splitting.
It up.
I'm treating.
Oh, okay. Let's do that. Come
Yeah.
home.
Let's do whatever you can bring friends. Even you can bring Kevin if you want.
I'll bring Kevin. Kevin is a big guy. He eats a lot. I think you made a mistake, but okay.
Mel, do you know why? One of the reasons we call nice people like you is my dad used to do a joke for me when I would Zoom with him from whatever location. So today you're going to do the joke for Max, for my dad. And I heard you have a joke that you like.
I love, there's a lot of jokes I love. When I worked in the mountains, in the border belt, I did not do jokes. I did characters. But every once in a while, on a crazy night or something, I would do jokes. Like I'd take jokes from Milton Berle, and I would take jokes. This one was from Myron
Cohen?
This one was from Myron Cohen. That's right. Myron Cohen, very funny guy. So this joke is from Myron Cohen. Where's your daddy?
Oh, he passed.
Oh, I know.
That's why I have you. Will you be my dad now?
I'll be your dad.
All
Do
right,
you think
good.
he'd like this joke?
I'm sure any joke you would tell, he would like because he loved you. Yeah.
Bless him. All right. Well, here's in memory of your daddy, a joke from Myron Cohen from the Borscht Circuit, the Borscht Belt in 19. What year was that? 1940. 1940. I was just 15 or so. I was just
Wow.
kid. But I worked the mountains. Here's the joke. A guy walks into a grocery store and says, give me half a pound of lox, half a pound of cream cheese, half a dozen bagels, and he stops and says, excuse me, I don't mean to pry, but I'm looking at your shelves, and all I see is red boxes of salt. You must have 100 boxes. On every shelf, it's cluttered with boxes of salt. 100, that'd be 100 boxes. Do you sell a lot of salt? And the guy says, me, yeah. The grocer says, if I'll sell a box a week, it'll be a miracle. I don't sell a lot of salt. No, I don't sell a lot of salt. But the guy that sells me salt, boy, can he sell salt. That was
Excellent joke from 1940. He pulls it out.
Myron
I love
19
it.
Butler Lodge, Hurleyville, New York. Mel Brooks on stage. I'll tell you one great thing that happened.
Yes, please.
Disaster turned out to be great. I was a substitute actor, and somebody twisted their ankle, and we were doing a play that night called Uncle Harry, and there was a part of the district attorney, and I'm only, I'm only 14 years old, really, and he twisted his ankle, and I said, I know the lines. There, Harry. Have a seat. Here, take this glass of water, relax, and tell me exactly what happened on the night of February the 15th. So Mr. Myron, the guy that owned he loved it. But the casting director, or the social director who did the show, said he's a kid. And so he said, okay, make him old. So they put lines on my face. They stuck a rolled up towel in my back. I said, hey, I'm not Quasimodo. I'm a district attorney. Anyway, so I get on stage and Uncle Harry comes out and I'm the DA. I'm standing behind the desk and I say, there, have a seat. And here's a glass of water. And as I said, here's a glass of water. It was slippery. There was water all around the glass. And it slipped. And it fell on the silver salver below and it smashed into 1,000 pieces. And it was such a rain of silence. Quiet. The band, nobody laughs. The band didn't laugh. The orchestra didn't laugh. Everybody just did this gasp of this, watching the glass break. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to save the moment. So I walked down stage. I pulled off my wig. I pulled off my beard. I took out my towel and I said, look, I'm only 14. I've never done this before, And the audience got hysterical. So of course the casting director, or the social director, said fire him. And the boss of the Butler Lodge said, no, don't fire him. That's the biggest laugh we ever got in that playhouse. So they kept me, on. Anyway,
So your whole career is owed to that mistake? Fantastic.
That big mistake, losing the glass for smashing.
Yeah.
But having the sense to ad-lib the truth. And
Yes.
And it saved my job.
I love that story. That's a great story. Oh, thank you for telling us that. And the joke. And your whole beautiful life.
Oh, please, my pleasure. I miss you. So come back home and let's have a I don't know. A mozza is great. We can have a pizza.
It is great. We could have a steak. We could have a pizza. Is there anything you don't like? Anything you don't want to eat?
I'm the only Jew that doesn't like a filter fish.
I think a lot of us, especially with the hook on it, with the blech.
I'm with the hook on it. That's funny. No, they take the hook out. They take the hook out. Anyway, Philip,
Mel, I love you. I love you, my friend.
Keep up
Thank
the
you
good work.
so much.
Keep traveling, but once in a while, come home and have some fun with me.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you. Love you so much. You take care, my friend.
All right. Take care, Phil. Bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Kevin, thank you too.
Oh,
Thanks, Kevin.
you're welcome, Phil.
Mel, meet
Bye,
my
Rick.
brother. This is my brother. He produces the show with me. Look, it's
Very good.
Richard there.
It's
Hey,
Richard.
Richard. How are
He's
you,
the cute
Richard?
one.
I'm Mel.
Yeah,
So good.
Well, you're doing a
supposed
good
to say
job. The show is wonderful, Richard. You're doing.
You should have seen me
you're doing
yesterday.
good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Kevin, thank you. Wonderful
You're
to see you.
welcome.
Bye
Take
for
Do
now.
care.
something
Bye.
nice. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.